We have a opportunity to spotlight another way that we try to reach out and love our neighbors, and so I'll invite Paul Mills to the platform to join me. Got a microphone from my brother here, and this is only going to be slightly confusing that we're both named Paul. So we had a document preparing for this moment, and we actually put our last names in it because otherwise that would have been nonsensical as we tried to prepare. So this is really an opportunity to spotlight how we try to reach out and love our neighbors everywhere and at all times, but specifically at Prairie Point, kind of across the way near the Hy-Vee gas station. So Paul, could you introduce yourself? I know many people know you. Share a little bit about what you do during the week and how you serve both the church within the walls and then outside more broadly too.
Yeah, sure. My name is Paul Mills, and now I know why they call this ministry spotlight. Goodness.
You get used to it eventually.
I guess. That's crazy.
That's why I'm sweaty every week, everybody.
Anyway, my name is Paul. My wife is Melissa. We've actually been coming to Christ Community for about 3 years now. I think we attended the second service ever in this building as our first service. Yeah, during the week, Melissa's a pharmacist, and I work at Farmers Insurance. I'm a corporate training manager, and I'm also a licensed in marriage family therapist. So I have a small private practice that I do part-time.
Yeah, and tell us about sort of your journey of getting connected over at Prairie Point. I mentioned really close, within walking distance even of us, but you don't even have to get back out on Shawnee Mission Parkway to love on these neighbors here. So what was that journey like for you and Melissa?
Yeah, for sure. And there's quite a long story, but so I'll sort of start in the middle. I'd actually already been going over there on Wednesdays and Sundays pretty regularly. And I think it really became clear to me why I was supposed to be over there one night when I was just over there by myself. None of the kids had shown up, and I was just sort of there wondering, like, what am I doing here? It was a really nice night, so I grabbed a basketball, and I went down to the basketball court and just started shooting baskets, and was just asking God, like, what am I doing here? What is it that you have for me or this community? And while I was shooting, I just prayed that He would introduce me to somebody, and so I started walking back to my car, and sure enough, I recognized a guy that he was just sort of sitting off in front of his building, and I recognized him from the block parties. And I took a deep breath because I don't just sort of love walking over to people, but I did, and sat down with him, and he had recognized me from the church that shows up on Sunday mornings and during the block parties, and we just talked for like 30 minutes and got to know a lot of his story. Got to hear a lot of the challenges that he has, both in his personal life and then also with his faith, which was also really cool because then I learned he was a believer. We had an opportunity to pray, and this brother didn't look anything like me. Has a very different socioeconomic situation than I do, a very different family situation than I do, but it was really kind of amazing in that moment. I think God put on my heart that I need this friend probably more than he needs me. And that really hit me. That's why I'm there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so kind of zoom back out a little bit and tell us some of the kind of history and of how we started getting connected over there and then where things stand today in terms of our engagement.
Yeah, for sure. So before my wife and I even came to Christ Community, Kathy Gordon had already established a relationship with the office manager over at Prairie Point. Her small group and others had done some of the block parties that we've done annually there. Gosh, I think probably for 5 or 6 years now at this point. So they had a really good rhythm, I think, in terms of showing up at least 3 times a year, getting to know the community in a small way. And in 2022, Kathy just invited me to not just continue serving at Prairie Point, but also to get to know some of the leaders in our community. So we have Community Impact Church. There's leaders there that have poured into Prairie Point and other apartment complexes in our area. And so with this group of other pastors, other people in our community, we just kind of built out a plan of what it would look like to be more involved. So Wednesday nights, our small group started opening up the swimming pool and just spending time with those kids, playing basketball, jumping rope, drawing sidewalk chalk, whatever. And then Sunday mornings, we've been pretty consistent in just going over there and making pancakes for these kids and just hanging out with them. So that's a little bit of the history and where we are, I guess, right now with it.
Yeah, how can we as a church continue to support you and come alongside what's already happening in this effort to love our neighbors well?
Yeah, I'll take a page out of my friend Nathan's book and just start with prayer. I think there's a couple of specific things that we should be praying for. One, that our entire community would feel welcome in our church. This is a reality, folks, as I meet with people, not just at Prairie Point or other parts of our community. Not everyone feels comfortable walking into a church building, either because of past hurts, things that they've experienced with church. So I would just be praying that our community would feel welcome here. And I think the other thing, too, is just for people like me who don't feel qualified. I don't even know if I like kids, if I'm being honest with you. God hasn't made that clear to me yet, so I don't know what that do.
You do like your own kids, right?
I mean, they're all right. They're teenagers now, so they can be pretty horrible, but no, of course I love them. I don't even know why I brought these support cards up here. I haven't even looked at them yet. But no, anyway, so yeah, be praying for, truly not feeling qualified, like I'm not a teacher. Thank God you all have Mandy Knowlton in that back area to teach and love on your kids. So, but I know I'm supposed to be there, and God is bringing people to be around us at Prairie Point, and so that's a big thing. And I'll say one more thing about prayer here in a minute, but specifically, what I would love is to have a rotation of adults, even teens, who might have a heart for coming alongside kiddos, spending time with them. Literally on Sundays, we make pancakes, they play Legos, and we play outside. Like, it's a pretty fun way to spend second service, if you ask me. But then also I'd like to have a rotation of adults for Wednesday nights as well. So during the summer, our small group pretty well has it covered in terms of spending time over there, opening the pool and those types of things. But to have more of a presence, I've got future dreams of like Bible studies and things like that over in that apartment complex. So would love to be praying, specifically for that. So yeah, between prayer and a rotation of adults, those are kind of the big things that we're asking for.
And you said you wanted to say one last kind of thing about prayer.
Yes, thank you. So one of the things that I've been doing just sort of personally in my prayer life, I don't know about you, but like when I pray, I'm really good at just asking for what I want and all these sorts of things. And I've never really taken the time to just sort of pause, just breathe. My daughter, her favorite Pearl Jam song right now is Just Breathe. But anyway, just breathe and listen for what the Lord might be putting on your heart when it comes to service. It doesn't have to be Prairie Point. It doesn't have to be Columbia. It doesn't have to be KCK. Look to your left, look to your right. Who is God putting in front of you to help right now? And pay attention to that. I think when I've slowed down in my prayer life, just so much more, I think, has been revealed to me about where I'm supposed to be. And I would just encourage any of you that are praying about how you can serve, that you would allow God to reveal that in your heart. And if you want to talk about that, I'll be out here after this service. I've got a sign-up sheet for Prairie Point. We've got some information. But honestly, I would just like to hear what's on your heart in terms of what God might be leading you to do in your own service life.